Fanboy and Chum Chum is better than you remember. Either you agree or you leave. I don't know what to tell you. If I were to sit down and make a list of controversial cartoons, I'm talking cartoons that are pretty much like universally hated by a lot of people. A little bit ago, I would have put Fanboy and Chum Chum on that list. In fact, I did put it on a list. Exactly like that. The point is, Fanboy and Chum Chum was overall viewed very negatively in the cartoon community until very recently. So I kind of want to talk about that because I think that's very interesting, and I think we all deserve to give this show a fair chance. And if I'm wrong, I don't know, you can hate me. That's totally cool. Just uttering the phrase Fanboy and Chum Chum might be enough to bring back some PTSD level memories for some of you. Personally, I remember watching this show when it came out. I was actually excited for it because I was a dumb little kid. It wasn't anything special, but I didn't hate it. Now, did I put it on a list saying that it was universally hated by a lot of people, calling it a controversial and horrible cartoon? Yeah, you know, I'm a hypocrite. That's all that boils down to. But at the same time, I think that's worth noting because by the time I was done researching for this video, even my opinion was changed on Fanboy and Chum Chum. Me, rickety old Nemo, I'm like 100 years old. So maybe I could change your opinion too. Look, I get why people didn't like it, okay? The show is famously obnoxious. The theme song itself is essentially if scientists discovered the gateway to hell and stuck like a microphone up to the flaming entrance. But yeah, on first glance, Fanboy and Chum Chum are like completely unlikable characters. All they do is annoy people. There's no plot, there's nothing here, there's no substance to the show. The character designs can be considered ugly, the music is obnoxious, everything down to the weird freezy freezes that they obsess over, it's all just like irking. Like, why would they like slushies? This makes no sense. But like all things in life, Fanboy and Chum Chum is a magnificent onion. An onion that if you peel back, you might find something a little different at the core. Something worth watching, maybe. Even industry-wise, this show was kind of an L. Nickelodeon famously picked it over Adventure Time in a notorious Netflix blockbuster level misstep. At the end of the day, however, the only real winner was like Fred Seibert. He made out with both of those shows. That really puts him at king status. And while Adventure Time went on to be a massive hit and one of the most impactful cartoons of a generation, shaping the entire cartoon landscape, Fanboy and Chum Chum had a mediocre 3-year run from 2009 to 2012 where it was mostly hated and met with generally really bad reviews. This show got beaten and battered pretty bad, I cannot lie. But let's take a deeper look at Fanboy and Chum Chum. Because look, there's two things you could do. You can either choose to write it off forever, or you can be like me, a legal adult, a literal college student spending his days locked in his room watching Fanboy and Chum Chum on his laptop, ignoring calls and texts from friends and family who are concerned, hiding under a blanket, refusing to talk to anybody, and sinking deeper and deeper into Fanboy and Chum Chum's world. You know, just like classic teenage stuff. Fanboy and Chum Chum is exactly what the title described and nothing else. It's really just a show about the misadventures of Fanboy and Chum Chum. Let me start off with something I actually like. The dynamic of Fanboy and Chum Chum. I think it's actually kind of endearing. They're a good pair for each other. They honestly bounce off each other really well. Fanboy kind of takes charge. Chum Chum goes along with it and it's cute innocence. That's another thing. Chum Chum's absolutely adorable. I just love to hear him talk. His voice is like one of life's purest treasures. And, you know, they can get annoying sometimes, but it's kind of like written into their DNA. I mean, listen to Fanboy's voice. If that annoys you, you're in for a long ride. I wanted to start off by talking about their dynamic because that's the whole root of the show. It's Fanboy and Chum Chum. But the real comedy comes from them interacting with their world. The two live in a water tower. They don't have parents. We don't know why. You can infer. I like to think it's the darkest timeline possible. That really kicks the show up a notch in terms of maturity level. But you never really find out. Are they brothers? Are they just friends? I don't know. They go to school, which is weird because why? Like they're forcing themselves to go to school? No one's making them. They don't have any authority in their life. I don't understand. Where are their parents? But like I said, it's not about them living in a water tower. It's about them interacting with the outside world and pretty much causing havoc in everyone's lives. There's Kyle, a classmate who's a wizard, so there's magic for some reason in the show. Don't ask me why. It kind of feels like they were just throwing everything together. They're like, what could be the most entertaining kid show ever? I guess also magic too. There's no rules. Kyle is one of my favorite characters because he never puts up with their bullshit, but he's forced to endure it anyways. It's tragically beautiful. On top of that, Fanboy and Chum Chum also hang out in a convenience store, which is something that I do, but I do it alone and it's not as quirky. It's actually kind of sad. They're obsessed with this frosty freezy freeze drink, which, okay, that's fine. I guess it's like their Duff beer or whatever. They also hang out in a comic store sometimes with Oz, and Oz is like the GOAT. He's the greatest character. I don't even need to explain myself. You gotta understand, this guy is king status. Like I mentioned, they go to school a lot. Their school janitor is, like, for some reason, a reoccurring character, even though he's just like the worst Star Wars pun. I don't I don't like it. The only way I can really describe Fanboy and Chum Chum is just imagine they're SpongeBob and everybody else is school. That's basically it. They're just going around annoying people and wreaking havoc on their lives in like quirky, funny, cartoonish ways. But that actually leads to some of the best moments and some of the best characters. My favorite characters in this show are like the grizzled, beaten members of society, like their teacher or the guy that runs the convenience store, completely beaten down and battered by the system of society in their modern world, counting down the days until the sweet release of death and they can finally be free of their miserable lives. I don't know, I could just relate to it. Fanboy and Chum Chum has its moments, and sometimes it doesn't. The jokes are really fast. It's kind of like go, go, go comedy, and if it doesn't stick, it doesn't matter because they're already on to like the next 3 jokes. I've seen shows be able to pull this off effectively, and I've seen shows not be able to pull this off, but mostly upon revisiting it, I found Fanboy and Chum Chum more endearing than annoying. You kind of have to take the show for what it is. It's a cartoony cartoon. Are there serious moments in like an overarching plot? No, this isn't fucking BoJack Horseman. Calm down. But at the same time, if you have any gripes with the characters or you just don't like them in general, you're not gonna have a lot of fun with Fanboy and Chum Chum, especially if you don't like gross out humor. There's a lot of moments that I genuinely really love, like when they gave Chum Chum a neck, just gave him a really long neck. How could you not laugh at that? That's comedy. It's a goofy cartoon, and if you don't like it, it's probably not meant for you. One thing it does super well is it pulls off a wide variety of visual gags that I think really work in the show's favor, and that's why at the end of the day, I just say it's a cartoony cartoon. Yes, it's annoying. A lot of cartoons are annoying, but just to write it off immediately because of an annoying earwormy theme song or semi-unlikable characters on first glance, I don't know, I think that's just not giving it enough credit. The show got 2 seasons, and from as far as I can tell, stuck in our collective consciousness. So even if you were trying to ignore this show, you still weirdly remember it. And behind every cartoon, there's a team of animators and writers and a creator working really hard and passionately to just, at the end of the day, make people happy. And just look at Eric Robles, the creator. He's adorable. He's an adorable man. I want him to be happy. Fanboy and Chum Chum's reputation may have sat for a while as like an ugly duckling of the Nickelodeon lineup, and the show unfortunately never redeemed itself in its 2-season run, kind of just ending mediocrely without anyone really batting an eye. People continued to just hate on it on the internet for years to come. But then the memes started. Oh baby, these memes, they're hot. This started in like late 2019, 2020, and this is truly the power of the internet. Fanboy and Chum Chum, for seemingly no reason at all, got the entire deluxe meme treatment. I'm talking Virgin Chad memes, top and bottom texts. Look at this meme chart, look at this data, it's beautiful. It even got its own weird format, which is blank but awesome, and then they would just insert Fanboy and Chum Chum characters. My favorite is The Last Supper but awesome, personally. But yeah, this is genius. This is art, I love this. And throughout all of the memes, the public consensus for Fanboy and Chum Chum in the weirdest way started to shift. People were finding a newfound love for this show. The memes were causing people to watch it again, and they were starting to realize Fanboy and Chum Chum was kind of fun. It wasn't as bad as everyone thought. It definitely didn't deserve all the hate. Through ironic meta humor, Fanboy and Chum Chum was finally discovering its audience. Sure, you get weird stuff like people shipping Kyle and Fanboy, which they're children. I don't want to think about that. Why would you do that? But it's pretty incredible. People also ship Kyle with other characters. I don't know why. I'm pretty sure this is ironic. Dear Lord, I hope so. And slowly but surely, the public online consensus of Fanboy and Chum Chum started to change. People even started publicly defending it on Twitter, and in like the biggest twist of all, people started to defend Nickelodeon's initial decision to choose it over Adventure Time, pulling up old concept art, which I can't lie, is some pretty great concept art. It just kept getting bigger and bigger. We discovered Fanboy and Chum Chum cosplayer. Jesus even sang the theme song.
We're gonna scream at the top of our lungs. We're gonna fly and have some fun.
All these new people giving Fanboy and Chum Chum a shot, including me. I'm sitting in a closet right now talking into a microphone to nobody about Fanboy and Chum Chum. You think that's how I thought my life would go? But here we are, you know? At first glance, this might seem ironic, but if you really look behind the curtain here, you can see actual people liking this show, and honestly, it is finding a new audience. Even if people can't tell if it's entirely ironic or not, me included, I don't think that's the point, because I think at the end of the day, it's a little bit of both. Fanboy and Chum Chum is that thing that you know is a little off, but you love it anyways, because at the end of the day, it's more endearing than annoying. At least to me. My good pal and best friend, ask him, he'll totally agree. Nintendo did an incredible recap of the entire series. You should check that out if you haven't already. It's mwah. And at the end of the day, this is just proof of the power of memes and what the internet can do, starting entire movements. We may not see people marching out in the street with Fanboy and Chum Chum merch on, okay? It's not that drastic. I'm just reacting to how the internet's been, and this is what I've been seeing. And at the end of the day, I just think it's beautiful. Fanboy and Chum Chum finally found its audience, just a decade too late. Well, that was all the recapping I could really muster. Guys, this was a heavy one, so as always, I really want to get your thoughts. Do you like Fanboy and Chum Chum now? Has it not even crossed your radar again? Do you think I'm crazy? Let us know in the comments down below, or if you're feeling brave enough, tweet to me, @StretcherNemo. If you want to consider helping out the Roundtable, you can become a member of the channel, or support us on Patreon and get exclusive access to scripts and avatars. As always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the Roundtable for more incredible cartoon content. So as always, guys, I am Nemo. This is a Fanboy and Chum Chum video, and I will see you next time. Peace.